Let's look at Robinson Cano's baseball hitting mechanics, specifically 2 quick tips for a faster turn.
Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from the Hitting Performance Lab, and in this video we're going to compare one of my little leaguers, Ian, to Robinson Cano's baseball hitting mechanics. We're going to go over 4 things as they relate to what we're working on with Ian is the catapult loading system. So we're going to look at how Ian hides his hands, we're going to look at his front elbow, and we're going to look at how Robinson Cano's baseball hitting mechanics, how they fare, and we're going to look at what Ian needs to work on to make his baseball hitting mechanics better. So let's take a look at Ian's swing, one in slow motion here. As you can see, his footwork's actually pretty good. That's why we're working on our catapult loading system. So what you'll see here is with Ian, he's doing pretty good with a down shoulder angle. He has a little bit of a Sadahara O type of catapult load, but you can see that down shoulder angle is pretty good. The one thing that he's not doing is tucking his hands in towards his rib cage or right under his armpit, as you would see a boxer do if they're going to throw a knockout punch. You don't see his hands move back any. They just kind of stay there the whole time. Whereas we need to get that because we need this front shoulder moving down and back towards his back hip. Now what happens is that sets in motion, doesn't lock his hands up enough to where his torso can chime in, which you'll see his hands kind of drift away. See his hands drift away here because they're not locked up. And what will happen is his front elbow, as he comes through, will be pointing down, and this isn't a low pitch, but the elbow, the front elbow, sets the barrel plane, and what you'll see is, especially right here, you see his elbow really tuck down, and that's happening, that motion is happening in these 2 frames. Here, he's starting to pull that elbow down versus keeping it up, and causes this really weak position in his hands. So we got to tuck those hands at the start, and then we can get that elbow up. Now how does Robinson Cano do it? So here's a swing that you can see. We'll put it in slow motion. You can see what he does is he'll tuck those hands in. Now this is the best view, you can see that from the front, but his hands will actually disappear from the pitcher. The pitcher won't be able to see his hands when he goes into load. We'll stop it here. As you can see, he just moves his hands in to his body. He doesn't move them back towards the catcher. He moves them in to his body, then goes into his swing. Obviously one of the better swings in the big leagues. One of the more consistent ones. You can see his head floating over his rib cage and his rib cage floating over his pelvis. And what you see with this elbow here is it stays up, then it starts to come down, but it's not as drastic as Ian was doing. So you go here, elbows up, and then he starts to get long in his follow through. So what we need to do, Ian, is take the mirror drill, have the mirror in front of you, and we want to go into our catapult loading system, but we want to make sure that you shouldn't close your eyes, go into your stride, into your fight position, your landing position, and make sure that you can't see your hands when your foot lands. So your hands should be tucked nice and like you're going to throw a knockout punch. But that's it, Ian. So we need to work on, brother, and we'll clean anything else we need to on the next time.